but it does explain the smell. The Alan Cox Show is on 100.7 WMMS.
You see any of that snow on the West Coast?
Yeah, it's crazy. San Diego had their first ever snow advisory or blizzard warning.
Yeah. I texted a buddy of mine who lives in L.A., and I go, are you guys getting snow? And he sent me back video of his front lawn. He's in Glendale, and he sent me a picture of his front lawn that was like hail or something. Because Pasadena, I have another friend that lives in Pasadena, and it looked like a goddamn blizzard. But they were getting something called thunder grapple. Not only are they... Now, I'd never heard of this. I'm sure people that are into meteorology might know this term. But I'd never heard it before. And so not even thunder snow. They were getting something called thunder grapple. I guess grapple is the term for really soft, wet snow. And so they were getting soft hail is grapple. It's also called hominy snow or snow.
How many?
How many do these fall? 2 to 5 millimeter balls of super cooled water. So maybe a fancy word for hail. I don't know what it's distinct from hail. It says in formation and appearance. Anyway, that's what they were getting out there. And my buddy was like, yeah, it's pretty wild out here. They were getting thunder grapple as far north as San Francisco. L.A. County was under a snow advisory. The Hollywood sign. A lot of people were posting the photo of the Hollywood sign covered in snow. Grapple, they said, is snowflakes wrapped in ice. And so they said, obviously, it was very, very bizarre because West Coast doesn't get a lot of that. So we have a lot of bureau chiefs out that way, too. Usually you can go up into the mountains, obviously, and see that, but nobody had to drive that far to see it. You can always count on AC/DC to give you a hit. They go, guys, it's a new decade. We're going to need a new hit song. But it's going to have to be essentially in the same way in which we do it. This song's 30 years old, at least.
Dog on the road, man. Just
Dog on the road, that's right.
Your Marge Simpson impression, you got an AC/DC song.
And Thunderstruck, this is the song that's made them the most money because it has been the most licensed for movies, sporting events, everything else. But yeah, Dog on the Road, these two guys on Twitter 2-3 years ago were like, you can make an AC/DC song very easily in about 30 seconds.
Here's how to make an AC/DC track in 30 seconds. First you need drums. Then you need bass. Then you need guitar. All you need to know are 3 chords, A, D, and G. Put them together in any order. And do your best impression of Marge Simpson. What's that? Look out! Dog on the road! What's that? Look out! Dog on the road!
Yeah. There's a dog on the road. It's the greatest AC/DC song that they never recorded or released. Dog on the Road. Cavaliers are off tonight. Big win here at home last night, though, if you got to see them beat the Raptors. It's 118-93. They'll play the Celtics in Boston Wednesday night, and then back here at home on Saturday night against the Pistons of Detroit, who are a terrible basketball team. But maybe they'll have a good night on Saturday.
I'd prefer they don't.
Pistons have only won 15 games. And that's still more than the Spurs and the Rockets. What the hell is going on down there? What's Popovich doing?
He's just like, I'm just running out the clock now. He's had an amazing
Is he going to
career.
retire?
He's won 5 championships.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you still want to win.
Yeah.
You know, you go, yeah, he won 5 championships.
But he's got to
same-
rebuild the team. He needs a good draft pick.
Yeah, I know.
He needs a number 1 pick, and then maybe he can get back on top.
All right.
Or maybe he'll jump ship, go coach somewhere else. I don't see that happening, though.
Alan, Grapple is that snow we get a lot of times. The beginning of winter, the bounces off the windshield doesn't stick.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Alan, hate the show. I'm calling in because, I think sometimes when you describe a video that's going to be a bit graphic, that description can trigger a lot of thoughts in people's heads. So if there's some way you can give a trigger warning or some background before you give your trigger warning and background before you play a video that needs trigger warnings and backgrounds on it, that'd be great, just so you could be inclusive of everyone.
I
I
think
see what he's saying.
I think he's joking.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, we are at a point where I can't tell. I genuinely can't tell. I'm going to go with, I think he's kidding. I just don't know all the time. But there it is. You think he was kidding, Poundcake?
No. I think he's dead serious.
And you think he's dead serious? All right, that's okay. Listen, I like to hear from people when they leave us messages on the app. It's called the iHeartRadio app. We ever mentioned that before?
Nope.
Oh,
Today's
okay.
the first time.
All right, good.
They finally earned it.
Mm-hmm. Snowflake is ice, so snowflakes wrapped in ice is literally just ice.
Oh.
Well, again, I took meteorology in college, and it worst grade I ever got in a class. So don't count on me to remember much more than condensation nuclei. And, I took it specifically to hit on somebody, and it didn't go that well. So I certainly can't recall that information 30 years later. Did you see they're revising the James Bond books? They have
Books?
Huh?
I didn't know there was any books of James Bond.
You didn't know that James Bond was a literary character?
No, I thought he was always like a movie, maybe comic books, I guess, but I didn't think he was like a book character.
No, there was
Comic books.
There was a series by
Okay.
there's
Sorry.
No, tell him. Go ahead, tell him.
author named Ian Fleming.
Sweet.
Wrote all these.
Who I think
a
was like
series,
it
yeah.
was like a noted racist,
Yeah.
right? Like an anti-Semite and the whole bit. So, but he had a very, very popular character.
Spy series.
Yeah. James Bond. And so what they've done now, I guess, from the people who brought you, I don't know, the people that brought you the Dr. Seuss thing or something.
Huck Finn without any N-word.
Oh, did that get taken out too?
I did that years ago.
Well, I know they had talked about it. I didn't know if it was a thing that they actually did or it was just people getting their undies in a bunch. But they're revising James Bond books because it had a lot of racist stuff in it. Ian Fleming Publications owns all the literary rights, and so they've hired what they're calling sensitivity readers. And they're going through all those old books. They're going through Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger. They're getting ready to celebrate the 70th anniversary of James Bond. And, they went through, you might remember last year, the analog to this is when they went through all the Roald Dahl books. The guy did Willy Wonka and all those, they were really slicing those up because there was some stuff in there. A lot of these guys, you'll be surprised to know, back in the day, were pretty open with their prejudices, and it would, find itself in its work or in their work. And so, yeah, when Ian Fleming would write these James Bond books, they were very popular books. They're going to be published with warnings now.
Doing the same thing with the Bible because they have so much anti-Samaritan language in there.
Right. We only know them to be good.
Well, we only know that one's good.
You never hear about a bad Samaritan.
No, that's the whole thing, is that they're like, a Samaritan did something good? This is not how Samaritans act. That's the whole idea behind that story. They're like,
Well, back then there was a lot of anti-Samaritan violence.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're right.
Very anti-Samaritan. So now they're just like, oh, the Samaritan's just being a regular guy. Nice guy. All
So-
Samaritans are good.
Some of the examples they give of these Ian Fleming books, the James Bond books, being problematic, I guess, to use the common parlance. Live and Let Die, which was written in 1954. The bad guy is called Mr. Big, and he's a black Jamaican with ties to the American criminal underworld. And I don't remember if that character was in the movie Live and Let Die. Was that the Lazenby movie?
Oh, I don't
It was
remember.
it was the Paul McCartney. No, it was Roger Moore, I guess. Maybe it was the first Roger Moore movie, 1973. But Mr. Big was Yaphet Kotto, who was in Alien. He was an actor that did a lot of work for a long, long time. He was on a cop show back in the day, too. But he was Mr. Big. Jeffrey Holder was in Live and Let Die. Remember the guy who used to do the 7-Up commercials? He was in Live and Let Die. And so anyway, the usual suspects who probably haven't thought about a James Bond book in their entire life are getting all in a froth over them revising these books. I've never read a James Bond book. I love those movies. I don't know why.
They're so stupid.
I
and corny
probably
and fun.
like them for the same reason everybody else likes those movies, or people who do like them. I've always loved the James Bond movies. I don't know why, because they are pretty dumb.
But they're fun.
There's nothing wrong with dumb, by
They're
the way.
just fun. They're
Yeah.
just dumb, fun action movies that make you feel like you're some sort of secret agent or smart in some way because they always figure something out, but it's not really. It's all fake science and stuff. I don't know. It's just it's fun. It's a good time.
It's kind of like a superhero-y kind of movie.
For sure.
But he's in a tuxedo instead of a cape. Or
Well, he's
whatever.
got a tuxedo, and then he also has all these gadgets and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And he escapes
banging hot
death,
chicks.
at every turn because nobody just wants to shoot him in the face. They're always like, I'm going to tie you up and then have this slow-moving buzzsaw come towards your crotch, and we'll see if you can get out. And guess what? He's going to get out. Just shoot him in the face.
Yeah, but those are the old James Bond movies. The Daniel Craig one where Mads Mikkelsen is the bad guy and he
Beating
ties
the
him to
crap
the
out of his
chair.
nuts.
Oh my God!
Well, that one's a little different. But still,
Holy cow!
if
He
you
sits
really
him in
want
the
him
chair.
gone,
yeah.
shoot him in the face.
Well, pulverizing his balls might be more torture.
It was more
Shoot him in the face.
torture, but he still got out and stopped it.
I know.
So if you want James Bond to not stop you, shoot him in the head.
These guys just have a boner for torture. You shoot a guy in the face, he's dead. That's it.
Right.
They want to torture him.
I know.
They want to
It's
prolong.
because they're so egotistical. Because they're like,
Yes.
there's no way he's ever getting out of this. But he always gets out of it. Idiots. Shoot his face. That's why I like in
Shoot his
Golden
face.
Circle, or not Golden Circle,
Goldeneye?
not GoldenEye. They're like they're a spy like spin-off, or not
The
spin-off,
Kingsman?
but Kingsman, yeah. And Kingsman, the first one, when they just straight up shoot, what's the guy's character's name? I think it was Galahad, but he was played by, he really knows how to wear a sweater, Colin Firth.
Okay.
He just straight up gets shot right in the face. And that movie came out 10 years ago, so spoiler alert, beware.
Is that the sequel?
No, it's the first one.
The first one, they shoot him right in the face?
right in the face.
Okay.
And it's right after he has this badass fight scene.
But he doesn't die. That's the church scene and then he gets shot in the face?
Yeah, and he dies in that, but then they bring him back in the sequel. And that's,
Oh, okay.
That's annoying.
All right.
I don't like that they brought him back, but, it is a spy movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't see the second one. I like that first one.
Second one was fun, too. It's got Pedro Pascal in it.
Isn't Jeff Bridges in the second one?
Jeff Bridges, I believe, is in the second one.
Okay.
Channing Tatum's in the second one, but not those two aren't in it as much as you'd think they would be, with it being as big a names as they are.
Okay.
But I like those movies. I think they're a lot of fun. I also like I like watching the old James Bond movies because I like what the technology.
Cutting edge technology at
Cutting
the
edge
time.
technology is like, there's a radio in your watch. They're like, whoa, wow.
This pen has poison ink in it.
Mhm.
What?
Mm.
But you'll notice, by the way, when they're going through and changing things that they deem to be problematic, I guess that's fine. That's good. But they're not, you never hear them talking about changing the names of the girls. And you recall
Why
that
would
James...
they need to change the names of the girls?
I
These are
mean,
just
some of
regular names.
some of these names. I mean, listen to this. Jill Masterson.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, I see what you're talking about.
I mean, problematic much?
Got the word master in it. That's not good.
The girl in Goldfinger was named Dink. Paula Kaplan? I mean, what, are you trying to make people mad?
What was Denise Richards' character? Something Christmas?
Yeah, she was Christmas Jones, right?
Christmas Joe.
I thought Christmas only came once a year while Pierce Brosnan's getting ready to slice her.
Yeah.
But there was Pussy Galore, and there was...
Pussy Galore is the most egregious one.
Yes.
That one is fantastic. Like that, they couldn't come up with one as funny as that in the Austin Powers movies.
Right.
Even A Lot of Vagina isn't as funny as Pussy Galore.
Yeah. There was Plenty O'Toole. Jill St. John was young and foxy. Diamonds Are Forever. She was Tiffany Case. Mary Goodnight.
Was that the one where he came back, where Sean Connery came back, Diamonds Are Forever?
No, Never Say Never Again was the
Okay.
one. Kim Basinger was in that one, I think. The Bond girl in The Man with the Golden Gun was an Asian girl named Chew Me.
Mm.
That's a little aggressive.
It's right up there.
Uh-huh. A Lot of Vagina. Holly Goodhead
Gee.
was the CIA agent working undercover in Moonraker. I think Moonraker was the first Bond movie I saw as a kid. I was 8 or 9, and it was in space. It was Roger Moore. Richard Kyle was in it. He was the bad guy. He was Jaws.
Yeah.
The Silver Teeth. He was in Happy Gilmore, I think. He's the big, weird-looking dude.
Mm-hmm.
But the girl's name was Holly Goodhead. And I'm 8 or 9. I don't know what the hell that means, right?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything to you then, but
Right.
then you grow up and go, ho, ho, ho. That's crazy.
Now I get it.
The first one I saw was GoldenEye. So I think I was 10 or 12. I had seen like parts of James Bond movies on TV at that point, but
Yeah.
I hadn't really like sat down and watched one. Then I saw GoldenEye and loved it instantly.
I just couldn't figure out how they got away with, I mean, it was a 1-2 punch for me because I saw Moonraker. Then the next one was Octopussy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how are they? I didn't even know what that was when I was that age. But I was like, in retrospect, how are they getting away with all that? But yeah, so they're not changing any of the Bond girl names
That's good.
in these.
That's sacred.
Xenia Onatop. That was the Russian girl in GoldenEye.
Instead of changing the stuff, can't they just put a warning on new versions of it and say, hey, this was written a long time ago?
That's what they're doing on the books.
So
That's what they're doing. It says,
but they're not like taking stuff out.
well, they are. They're
Okay, well,
they're
that's-
revising it, and then they're saying it. So they're revising it, and they're still
Saying,
putting a yeah. This
right,
this
do
book
one
was,
or the other.
this
I was
book
like-
was written at a time when terms and attitudes which might be considered offensive by modern readers were commonplace. That's the overly verbose warning after they've gone through.
That's what Disney Plus did with Aristocats, right?
I think they just pulled it.
Mm-mm.
No, they just said
they
this
put
is
like
a different
disclaimer.
time. Yeah.
Oh, did they?
What if they're just like, hey, we are after these people and we are going to hurt them, but it's not because they're black.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure it's just because we're evil. It's not because of anything to do with race.
Strawberry Fields was one of the
Forever.
most recent Bond girls. And then there was another girl named Dr. Molly Warmflash. Hello,
I thought you-
Dr. Warmflash.
I thought you were going to say flaps.
Dr. Molly Warmflaps. Mr. Bond, I presume? Indeed. So anyway, enjoy that if you're a James Bond fan. I got a break. I'll have those Depeche Mode tickets for people hitting me up for those. All week, I got those tickets. Depeche Mode has added Cleveland to their itinerary, and they're coming this fall to the Romo Fijo. So I'll have this for you coming back. 35192. Want to text me for anything else.